Piers Morgan presses Keir Starmer on policy clarity during candid TV interview. In a recent televised interview that captivated viewers across the country, broadcaster Piers Morgan sat down with Labour leader Keir Starmer for a wide-ranging discussion on politics, leadership, and the direction of Britain. The exchange, part of Morgan's flagship current affairs program, was candid, at times intense, but ultimately focused on substance over spectacle. The interview was not without its tough moments, as Morgan, well known for his no-nonsense interview style, challenged Starmer on various aspects of his leadership, from policy detail to party consistency. But far from being confrontational in the sensationalist sense, the discussion offered a rare opportunity for the public to hear directly from a potential future Prime Minister, under pressure and in his own words. With the next general election drawing nearer and Labour maintaining a steady lead in most national polls, public interest in Starmer's leadership is at an all-time high. The interview came at a critical moment for the Labour leader, offering both an opportunity to reinforce his vision and a test of how he handles scrutiny outside the usual political arenas. Piers Morgan opened the discussion with a series of broad questions about Starmer's background, character, and motivations. The early minutes were conversational, even personal, before pivoting into more challenging territory, namely, questions around Labour's policy direction and its readiness to govern. Morgan's key line of questioning focused on policy clarity, an issue frequently raised by both critics and undecided voters. He asked Starmer to be specific on issues such as tax policy, immigration reform, and the future of the NHS. "People want to know exactly what you stand for," Morgan said at one point, pressing the Labour leader to commit to more concrete details rather than broad messaging. Starmer, calm and composed, acknowledged that more clarity was needed and assured viewers that Labour's full policy platform would be laid out ahead of the election. He emphasized that his leadership has been about restoring trust, not making empty promises. "We're not going to draft policies on the fly for applause," Starmer responded. "We're focused on building credible solutions that can be delivered in government." What set this interview apart from others was the tone. Morgan was undoubtedly firm, holding Starmer to account on the kinds of questions many voters ask at home. But the exchange avoided personal attacks or sensationalist drama, instead focusing on substance. When Morgan challenged Starmer on shifting positions within the Labour Party, particularly on Brexit and public ownership, Starmer provided context rather than deflection. He explained that leadership requires adapting to current realities, not clinging to ideological positions for the sake of consistency. This willingness to engage, rather than evade, was praised by some commentators as a sign of maturity in political communication. Clips from the interview quickly circulated across social media, sparking a flurry of comments from viewers with a wide range of political views. Some praised Morgan for asking tough, necessary questions, while others applauded Starmer's calm demeanor under pressure. News outlets across the political spectrum covered the interview, with headlines focusing not on gaffes or viral moments, but on the substance of the issues discussed. This was a refreshing shift from the usual media cycle that often prioritizes controversy over clarity. Polling data released shortly after the interview suggested no dramatic changes in support for Labour, but several focus groups noted an increased perception of Starmer as a serious and competent leader, two qualities many voters prioritize. This high-profile exchange served as a reminder of the importance of journalistic accountability in modern democracy. While political debates and party conferences remain central to the electoral process, interviews like these offer something different: an unfiltered view of a political figure responding in real time to tough but fair questions. It also highlights the role of the media not to attack or sensationalize, but to hold leaders accountable in a way that informs and empowers voters. Piers Morgan's interview style is certainly direct, but in this instance, it allowed for a thoughtful, focused discussion on issues that matter to everyday people. As the UK edges closer to another general election, voters will continue to demand more transparency and leadership from those who seek public office. While this interview was just one of many appearances Starmer will make, it marked an important step in his journey to connect with voters outside of traditional party lines. The pressure to define clear, actionable policy remains high, and the coming months will likely see intensified scrutiny not just of Labour, but all parties vying for power. The more leaders are willing to engage in frank conversations, especially in unpredictable formats, the more informed the electorate will be. If this interview demonstrated anything, it's that open dialogue between the media and political figures still matters. Whether you agree with the policies or not, it's essential that leaders are tested and heard in equal measure. For more balanced political updates, interviews, and thoughtful analysis, make sure to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. What did you think of the interview? Did it change your view of Keir Starmer? Let us know in the comments and keep the conversation going.